I'm Christopher Titus, and this happens to be
Life's sweetest reward.
Did you guys know that the Supreme Court has no rules about ethics? And that brings us back to Clarence. This man, the second black Supreme Court justice ever. And he was put on the Supreme Court amongst the controversy. He was a sexual predator, but that was a different time when Harvey Weinstein and Bill Cosby probably shared notes on which women knew the deal. Let's take a little journey through this corrupt, manipulative, lying justice. Clarence. He's the Supreme Court's foremost originalist, which means he purports to interpret the Constitution as it was in 1789. That's right, a black man thinks the Constitution was perfect. You know, when black people were enslaved. Damn. Also, by the way, he's married to a white woman, which also couldn't happen when the Constitution was written. Take some balls. Also, his lovely wife, Ginny, worked for the Heritage Foundation, the ultra-conservative right-wing refused to think tank. She was the liaison between Heritage and the Bush administration. And Clarence forgot to tell anyone. Gin also supported Trump and paid for buses to take patriots to the insurrection. Like a traitor. And she emailed state lawmakers in Arizona and Wisconsin telling them to ignore the results of the 2020 presidential election and vote instead for the alternative slate of electors. Like a traitor. She also worked for the Department of Labor, where she argued against equal pay for women. She's a woman. She's a peach, isn't she? Clarence, on the other hand, has a buddy, Hylind Jim Crow. Hylind is a daddy-made billionaire who donates millions to Republicans and collects dictator statues and Hitler memorabilia. He said about his statue garden of dictators, it's to remind you what evil men do. Like I have a statue of my ex in my backyard to remind me. But Harlan's bromance with Clarence rivals me and Ryan. Hi, Ryan. Anyway, here's a list of what Hylind has done for his buddy. He gave him a Bible owned by Frederick Douglass, who I hear is doing great things.
Frederick Douglass is an example of somebody who's done an amazing job.
He gave him a bust of Abraham Lincoln, probably because it clashed with Harlan's bust of Stalin and Genghis Khan near his hot tub.
Life's sweetest reward.
Hylind gave $175,000 to Clarence's childhood library. I'm guessing they used that money to then ban books about slavery. In 2008, Hylind bought $1.5 million worth of land in Pinpoint, Georgia to build a museum to commemorate the community that raised Clarence Thomas. Except he hid that he did that by running it through a shell company that finally was traced back to Hylind. Now, sidebar, my city, Newark, California, has dedicated a porta potty to my raising. It's outside the library where I checked out George Carlin albums as a child. Hylind also gave $500,000 to Ginny Thomas's conservative group, Liberty Central. I guess that's so Ginny could pay for all those buses on January 6th. Like a traitor. And he bought Clarence's mother's house to turn into a museum, except his mother is still living there rent-free. I guess she's running the tours. Hylind has let Clarence use his private plane and for decades taken him on ridiculous vacations on a 161-foot yacht.
I'm flying.
Now, by the way, none of us care if your buddy and you go on vacation. Right, Ryan? I'm still waiting for you and Blake to invite me and Ray. But if you're one of the most powerful people in the country who decides laws that affect 330 million people, maybe you should let us know who you're taking money and free private jet rides and other shit from. And who the conservative donor is who has his tentacles into every aspect of the political party that is currently trying to burn down America. Man, tell us, Clarence, for God's sakes. Make a phone call, put a Post-it on a toaster, but just let us know that you're corrupt as shit. I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Originalist, the black guy, likes the original version of the Constitution where slavery was legal and black guys couldn't marry white women. Yeah, let's go back to that. That'd be awesome. Of course, it's going to mess my weekend up on the fucking yacht.
Let it flow.